Helps if you have the right screen ready when you try to go live. Good morning. If you can't tell, I'm not all there this morning. For some reason, I slept in late, so I'm going to be relying on the coffee heavily. Thankfully, my wife made some, so. But I got up late enough that the coffee pot was already turned off. So, thankfully, it's still warm. Hey, Ming, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you might notice that I don't have, or maybe by now, depending on when you're watching it, I don't have yesterday's um, live stream up on the YouTube channel yet. I started getting it ready, and then we had some things going on last night with the kids, so we were up late, and I was tired when I got home. So anyway, that'll be up probably later today or tomorrow. And then also this will be up later at some point too. I'm trying to play around with some of the content going into YouTube because I want it to be a little bit more succinct, a little bit more better for video quality without doing tons of editing. Um, if you happen to watch it on YouTube, you probably noticed that I've been cutting out the beginning and the end, intro and exit, stuff. But I'll probably do a little bit more editing on those just because I want to make the videos that go up on YouTube more specific to the topic that we discussed that day, if there is a singular topic. Because usually I'll have something, or you'll have something, or something will come up that we end up talking about, and I just want to make sure that that really is the focus and it's a little bit more clear, especially if I'm going to use, like titles to try to grab people's attentions, or thumbnails and things like that. I want to try to get to the point as quickly as possible. So we'll see how that goes. I'm the secret project I was working on that I was telling you about with AI is a project to try to help me use AI to automate some of that process. So it's I originally started doing it for shorts, and I'm having some issues with the actual overlay text. It overlays the text, but I'm not able to get the style that I'm looking for yet. So I'm still working on that piece of it to get that to work the way I want it to make it closer to what I was using before, which I will never build something probably that is as good as the application that I was using before, because I mean that's what they do for a living, literally. But I realized that doing even just a 30-minute live stream every Monday through Friday, just 1 week of that would take up more minutes than the base package of minutes, and I was not willing to pay more than the base package of minutes. So we're going the build it yourself route on that end, and maybe I probably won't do anything here on the channel showing that, just because most of it is written with AI, because I'm very much vibe coding that. But it seems to be working for the most part. And if you're interested, I'm using Claude Code for that. So that really has been pretty good. I've been pretty happy with Claude Code, even more than with Windsurf, which is what we use here in our demos on the Dev Mentor Dave channel, which according to Dan is correct. I can say channel on Twitch. So I can't keep up with that stuff, and I still never looked up. We had somebody pop in. I can't remember the username now. It's something 2022. But they popped in and gave us a follow to take us up to 4. Mentioned something about getting up to 10. So I don't really. Well, we're here for 2 hours. Let's just find out. Let's see. Let's see if Claude knows what we're talking about. Do. What is the significance? Hey, I got it right. Of reaching 10 followers on Twitch. We'll see how up to date Claude is. Yeah. Psychological boost. That's nice. I don't care. Community foundation. Blah blah blah. Twitch features. That's what we're looking for. This would probably been the first one that I would have thrown out there, Claude. While 10 followers doesn't unlock major platform features, most require 50 followers. It does show you're making progress. Well, so I guess 10 means nothing. Oh, I know why. Hang on. I know why. Uh, if you go down here to the Twitch channel, which we're gonna watch me live. How's that for Inception? There we go. Let's see. Down. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Here we go. The goals. I forgot I set this. So there's a DevMentor Dave's goals, and there's a 10 followers goal. That's what they were going for. All right. So now it all becomes more clear. I completely forgot that I actually set that. So, all right. So that's why we're trying to get to 10 followers on Twitch. As you can tell, I'm really worried about it, and it's a very significant part of my plan here. Anyway, so let me pop this back here. All right. So we had somebody jump in, so that was cool. They didn't stick around very long, but we've got another follow. Yay! So anyway, trying to do some updates with that program to help make the YouTube stuff a little bit more succinct from these live streams, because these live streams can kind of go off the rails even in just 30 minutes. I will say it's interesting. I kind of wondered how I was going to fill 30 minutes every day, but apparently I am pretty good at talking about random things for a long time. So we generally have gone over 30 minutes almost every time. I think the one time we didn't go over 30 minutes, we had nobody on the live stream, and I had a very short amount of information that I wanted to share. So, but pretty much it's always been over 30 minutes. So, if you don't know about that yet, join the live stream every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Central United States time. We're there for about 30 minutes talking about anything and everything. Really, pretty much anytime we're on the live stream, we'll talk about almost anything. But usually something that happened in my day, or something that happened in your day. Or something we just saw on LinkedIn, or maybe some other social media. Though I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, not really other social media. So feel free to join that. It's about a half hour, not very long, at the end of at least my day, and so we'll be here most of the time for that. And then we're here for 2 hours, usually most Saturdays here at 10 a.m. Ming says, if I'm online, you can go on for the whole day. Yeah, I don't think my voice could handle that. The 2 hours here on Saturdays is, I mean, it doesn't take long for me to recover, but I'm often getting pretty hoarse at the end of 2 hours. That's a pretty significant amount of time. It takes me back to, I don't know if you happen to have ever seen what was that Jimmy Stewart movie? Stink. I can't think of the name of the movie. Anyway, he plays a politician, and he gets up and like filibusters for 24 hours or something like that. It's crazy. Sometimes at the end of a 2 hour live stream, I kind of feel like he looked. Ming says I can stretch it for you. I'll probably just eventually cut you off, Ming. That's how it'll work. You can try. Ask all the questions you want. But congratulations though. Ming says he had back-to-back interviews yesterday and he smashed it, so that's awesome. What are you interviewing for, Ming? Is it all full stack or just front end, or what are you trying to, just anything you can find? We'll see what he says. So full stack and front end. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. What were those for specifically? I've got my coffee this morning. I don't know if Mel's gonna jump on here or not, but she would be proud of me. It's freshish coffee. At least fresh this morning. I was a little late to it. So we're going to jump over to our project. If you haven't been following along, oh wow, a friend of yours referred you to a senior. Nice. That would be all. That would be the icing on the cake, if after all this time you got referred to a senior position after all these junior positions that you've applied for and all these junior positions that you've been rejected for and some that you were hired for and not treated well, to then potentially get a senior position, that would be sweet justice. More money and hopefully better interaction too. That would be cool. So does your friend work at that company? Yeah. So that's the secret, right? So people don't realize this, but more than likely, depending on where you're interviewing, senior level interviews are easier than junior level interviews. And here's why. I might have to clip this later. Here's why. So when you're hiring a senior, typically you're going to look at their resume, you're going to see what they've done, and if it looks like they're lying about whether or not they're a senior, right? But you have a level of assumption of what they already know because of their work history, because they're claiming to be a senior level developer. Now, I'm certainly not saying just everybody should go out and start, you know, applying for things that you probably aren't qualified for, but it is just a reality. One of the reasons I think that our interview process actually goes pretty well and pretty quickly is because we're not spending a bunch of time trying to figure out what you know. We're not testing you very much because we hire senior level devs. And so for a senior level dev in many of the positions that I've interviewed for, it's been a pretty straightforward, fairly simplistic interview because you can tell pretty much right away if the person knows what they're doing or if they don't know what they're doing. And then it's just a matter of making sure that they know the things that you're looking for. They have the experience that you want as a recruiter or as an interviewer, and then seeing if you feel like they're a good fit, if the interactions go well, if the money is the right fit, all those different things that you have as part of that process. But it really is true that senior level, at least in my experience, senior level interviews go a lot easier than junior levels because not just because we need to know what a junior knows, but also everyone's looking for the most they can get out of a junior. And so they're going to kind of wring that towel a whole lot harder on the junior interview because they want to see how far you can go and the most that they can get out of you, the most they can expect out of you. And so I think that's why one reason why junior developers have a harder time in interviews, not only the fact that they're not used to them, but also the reality that companies are trying to figure out how much they can get out of you at junior level pay, basically, at the end of the day. Um, so that's the interesting reality of going from a junior to even a mid level or senior level developer. The interview process actually feels a little bit easier because there's a level of expectation. If you get a senior level job and you somehow bluffed your way into it, they're going to know pretty quickly that you can't do it, and they'll just let you go eventually. So as much of a pain as that is as an employer, it's not the end of the world too. So um, yeah, so it is interesting that you noticed that too, having gone into that senior level interview. Okay, that's cool. So he doesn't work there, but he at least knows the recruiter and passed you on. Ming says my senior level interview I didn't realize I applied for was really nice. Tech stage was a choice of take home or demo project. Oh, interesting. He was gonna hire me because if he had the funding to train me, but he really liked my personality. Yeah, the senior levels are just so much smoother. It's so much easier to go through that because again, there's a level of assumption there as to what you know. A 6 month ramp up time? That's crazy. Interesting. So yeah, there's a 6 month ramp up time. That's a long time. I wonder what all is included in that ramp up time because like for us, we do a lot of projects for other companies, right? We don't have our own product that we do. So I mean, generally, if somebody comes in to our company, they need to be up to speed on the project, and they need to be working in actually putting code in really within the first week. Now we're going to give them the easiest stuff we can find in the project. We're not going to hand them like a massive feature to implement. We're going to bring them on slowly, but like we expect them to get up to speed pretty quickly on the project and uh, be able to start participating and being productive pretty quickly. So that is interesting. That it would be a 6 month ramp up time. A marketing AI company. Okay. It just must. I mean, there must be a lot of stuff going on with that. So again, that is a product company rather than a company like the one that I work for. Um, I was agency. That's the word I'm trying to think of while I'm talking. An agency company like mine. Um, we tend to have not necessarily smaller projects. I mean, I've got one project where I've got 4 or 5 devs on it. Another project where I've got two, and I'm leading two more from the client, and so I mean we've got some pretty significant projects, but yeah, especially if you've got a project and it's 10, 15, 20 developers, I could see maybe needing to get more ramp up time and something like that. That's really cool though that they would bring you in doing pair programming, lots of learning AI field. So that's nice to be able to be interacting with AI using large language models. I would assume, especially from a marketing standpoint. I wonder what else they use from like a machine learning standpoint. That would be interesting to see as well. Yeah. Oh, interesting. I'll say so. The company's really big, but there's many AI products they're working on. Yeah, that would be really cool to get into. That's one way to not let AI take your job is to work in a job that makes AI. Flip the script on it. There you go. Awesome. Well, congratulations, me. Hopefully, one of those pans out for you. Do you know when they're supposed to hear back from them from anybody? Whether or not you're either moving on to the next stage or potentially getting hired. Did they even tell you how many stages there are? That's the other fun part. I think people are starting to wise up a little bit. I'm seeing more and more posts on LinkedIn around the recruiting process and how uh, both how ignorant the long recruiting process is and multi-step process is, how um, as well as how silly it is to make somebody wait. Like if you know they're a good fit, hire them. Don't don't waste your time and everybody else's time interviewing more people. I mean, you can always interview people that you set up interviews with even after you've made a hiring decision, because put them in the backlog. If you like them, you know, keep a note on them, and then you have somebody to try to contact if you need to hire somebody else in the near future. Nice. The senior said I want to move you on to the next stage. Should hear back within 2 weeks. Good grief. That's just that's just stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's 2 weeks. That's I almost want you to go on the Dev Mentor Dave Discord server and private message me and tell me what this company is so I can yell at them. But I'm not going to, so there's no reason to do that. But speaking of which, we do have a Discord server, so if we don't have tons of activity on there, I'm not really on there very much. I was originally, but life is a lot more busy than it was when I started it. So I'm not on there much, but every once in a while people jump on there. So if you want to ask a question in there, people might be able to help you out, or I might get a notification to be able to help you out. Again, if you happen to be watching live, jump in the chat, say hello. If you're watching this later on YouTube, jump in the comment section and leave a comment. I do read all the comments, so and try to respond to them either here or I'll respond to them on a live stream in the future. So feel free to leave a comment there. Yeah, Ming says I'll send you down to the UK and sort them out. 2 weeks is too long. I totally agree. The junior one, the HR said the quickest we can get it all wrapped up would be by next Friday. That's reasonable. Like so, there's there can be multiple things that need to happen in a process. Maybe there's certain people that need to sign off on it. They're not always perfectly available. 1 week is not the end of the world. I think it's still too long. I think you should, if you know you're in a hiring process right now, you should have the people necessary to move that process along, because that hurts your company too. The longer you're in the hiring process, that's the longer you've got developers potentially burning themselves out, working on multiple things that you need somebody else to bring to come in and help out with. So there's many reasons why it just doesn't make sense from both the recruitment standpoint and the company standpoint to make it longer than necessary, right? So I still think, I mean, a week is really too long in my opinion still, but it's it's at least understandable. It's at least understandable. So there you go. But it's great. Thanks, Ming, for giving us the continued saga of your job journey. So hopefully you land someplace here soon that will be good long term. And if you happen to watch the live stream yesterday, um, again, it's not on YouTube yet, but if you happen to watch that one, yesterday was my 3 year anniversary at the company that I currently work for. That is the longest tenured job I've had working in this industry. So a bit of a celebration for me, and spent some time reflecting on that on the live stream. So I won't do that again today, but just to maybe encourage you that you can still have a very successful career even if you don't end up actually having uh, a lot of jobs that keep you around for a long period of time. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Um. Yeah, exactly. When you receive an offer, good point, Ming. When you receive an offer, 24 hours is fair to give you a chance to think through that, but more than that, usually you probably are going to start looking bad in the company's eyes. I never make a decision about large things like that right away. The only reason that I would is if I've already done a bunch of research on something and I already know I'm going to buy it. It's just a matter of negotiating price or something like that, which I'm not good at. My wife is much better at that. I have some friends that are even better at it. I should bring them with me when I'm negotiating prices on things. So anyway, I wanted to uh, go back. Oh, sorry. Let me think here. What's going on? Oh yeah, so don't waste too much time when you're responding. Kind of a lost track there. People are texting and it's popping up on my computer, and so it's catching my attention. So yeah, don't waste too much time on your side either. It looks bad. It looks like you're negotiating something else, to be honest with you, and maybe you are. But yeah, companies get the same icky feeling from recruits as recruits get or from companies, if there's too long of a time. So I think the longest that I ever went was a weekend, and it was because I was actually waiting on another company to get back with me. So when I went to a company called VML, there was another company, a smaller company that I had in the telecommunications industry. I had interviewed with, really liked the opportunity there, but the person who had the final say, who was not in the interview, um, they were out of the country. I think, at least out of town, but out of the country, and they couldn't contact them easily. And again, this is that whole point about having the people that need to be involved in the process available right away, right? So, so I got an offer from VML on Friday, and I don't remember if I told them I needed to take the weekend, but I said I did tell them that I was waiting on another offer and I need to compare them. And Monday rolled around and my recruiter called me, and I hadn't heard from that other company. Um, and they said, well, at the end of the day, I need to hear or they're going to rescind the offer. I was like, okay, well, um, that's great. So near about the afternoon, I hadn't heard anything. I tried calling the other company, and they hadn't been able to get in contact with this person that had to make the final say. And so I ended up going to VML, and it was fine. I had good reasons to go to VML, mostly to learn the front end frameworks, and I was able to do that for a year and a half, so it was good. But yeah, they were getting antsy as far as me giving my response, and the reason why I did that is because I was, trying to get a better offer, and it didn't work out. So you have to be careful in that process that you're not the one that's holding it up too. Yeah, that'll happen, Ming. Exactly. uh, After 10 years, Grandpa Dave be a CEO chairman. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I've already been in the industry for 14 years, 15 years, somewhere around there. So we're already past the 10-year mark. Are you saying 10 more years? 25 years in the industry, maybe make CEO? I don't know. I don't know if I were a CEO, it'd have to be over my own company, I think. I don't know if I want to be a CEO over anything. I'll take the pay, but I don't know if I want the responsibility. All right, let's dive into our project since we're about 30 minutes into the live stream already. So if you remember where we stopped last week, had a couple different things. One of them I have moved forward with, and the other one I haven't. So let me pull up our app as it is. There we go. All right, so here's our front end app pulling data from the back end API provided by WordPress. WordPress's built-in REST API. One of the issues that we had was if you look at this page, we need to go /template. We had some style changes on the actual content, and that was not carrying over into our app. And the reason for that is because it's using classes, right? And we don't have those classes. We started playing around with trying to install some things that Claude or somebody said that we should install to get those classes from WordPress. That didn't really work. So for now, we're just going to set that piece on the shelf. I'm really not too worried about that at the moment. We can maybe tackle that later on down the road if we really want to pull in specific styles from the content area. But we started talking about using advanced custom fields and using advanced custom fields to be able to pull in specific data. So if I go to edit this page, we'll see here's our content that we interacted with. And then here's some custom fields that we added to this specific page. Now I'll show you how we can do this with other things as well in the future, but well, even today I think. But this is just some data that we added. So we've got test 1, test 2, and image 1, and so we put that into the API. We had to kind of work around it because we weren't using the pro version of ACF. I have since gotten the pro version of ACF and installed it, so we'll see an update to that here in a second. But so this information was here, and that gives us more control over this specific data. Since obviously we have a little bit less control over this content, we can control even more specifically the type of data that gets sent and what that looks like. Now, one of the issues that we had early on is that the free version of ACF does not automatically put stuff into the WordPress API. And apparently that's a pro thing only. I actually installed the pro version, and it still didn't put anything in the API for some reason. So I was trying to figure that out, but I did find in that process a setting So I don't know if this is only here because of the pro version or if it's here and I just didn't see it before. But under the field group, so we went to ACF field groups, and then this is our test field group that we were creating. Down here under the settings side, there's a group settings, and you can tell it to be in the show it in the REST API or not, right? Excuse me. So this was not checked. So I did check this. And now if we go to, let's save that just to make sure. Now if we go to our JSON object, you'll see it's actually putting it in that ACF field. Now, I have not refreshed our React front end since I made this change because what should happen is the React front end should throw an error saying that the fields that we added manually are no longer there since they're added inside this ACF attribute, right? So let's refresh it now and see if that actually happens. I'm actually going to open up the inspector panel here. Go to my console. Okay. And let's refresh and see if it yells. Okay, so all the information is gone. It's not yelling at us, which is interesting. I don't know why it's not giving us an error. I guess it's just because it's not finding it, it's just ignoring it. But all that information went away because it moved in the the content moved inside the data that we're getting back. So if we come in here and look at our data, let me move myself real quick here. Boop, boop, boop. Momentarily so we can see this. Okay, so if we look at our data, we'll see in here, thankfully this does alphabetical order. So we've got ACF right up here at the top. So all these things that we put in manually. Oh, I also turned off that plugin that we created to be able to put these in manually. So we don't need that anymore. So that is off. And then these fields are inside ACF. So we need to update our front end so that it pulls the ACF attribute out of that JSON object and gives us access to these here as well. So let's jump over to our code. This is our template page. So here we were putting these in, where's that? Here. Setting this data separately. So I think what I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to set, instead of using one for each of these, I'm going to set just an ACF constant instead of having all of these set separately. And we'll just set that to an any, which you're not supposed to do in TypeScript, but that's okay. Who cares? All right, so let's change this. Yeah, we'll make it null. Oops. Windsurf's trying to help us out. Null. And this will be ACF. And then we'll just use ACF and the attributes later on. Okay. Data.acf. Thank you. Okay, so Windsurf helped us do that a lot faster, which is nice. Use state any, null. We probably could call this, I forget. Can you do like object? Oops. Do an empty object. Let's try it. Let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so we've got ACF coming in here. So here, down here, we definitely want to do ACF image 1, ACF test 1, ACF test 2. Does not exist on type object. That's what I thought. Okay, let's just go back to any. And we'll leave it as an, well, should we do null? Yeah. All right. And it's helping us out here, adding in the question mark, saying, hey, if this doesn't exist, ignore it. Very good. Nope, don't need that. Trying to be too helpful. Okay. We'll save that. Let's come back over here to our page. And we've got, all right, so we've got a couple of pieces of data still here. What is this? Localhost 3012, not found. All right, let's look at our content. ACF. Image 12. Okay, that's a problem. So image is coming through as number, which is probably the internal ID, rather than coming through as the URL. So something got messed up. Maybe when we added pro. Let's take a look at the image. Image field name, image URL. It should be sending the URL. Why is it doing that? Interesting. Hmm. Weird. Okay, so we've got an image. Image array. Maybe we send the image array. See if that. Oh, not that. Oh, stop. Go back. Delete. Remove. Yes. Okay. I was looking for a save button. It's way up here. Okay, so I'm changing this to image array. Let's see what comes back in the API now. Clear this out. It's still only sending back 12. Interesting. Is there anything else in here? About author, collection, yourself. WP attachments? What is this? Interesting. Huh. I wonder why it's not in metadata. Well, this is annoying. Why is it sending back 12? I did not notice that earlier. ACF test image 12. Well, let's see. Is it not returning the image? Yeah, it's not returning the image URL. So we might have to jump to Claude on this one and see what Claude has to say. Let's see. We got somebody else jumping in here. Azelle Carter. Headphones not working, so replying in the chat. There you go. Welcome. This will be interesting because I'm going to say everything that I type, most likely. So, welcome, Azelle, joining for the first time. Good to see you. Probably won't be able to do a whole lot of chatting, but thanks for the follow. Looks like you followed as well, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. It looks like they might have left already because I didn't see them. Oh well. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on here. ACF Pro sends image ID instead of URL or array. Three different. Your image field is set to return image ID. It is not. That is incorrect. I have it set for URL and it still sends the ID. Custom fields tools clear cache. Interesting. Okay, let's try that. Tools. I don't see a clear cache option. Is it up here? Does anybody else see a clear cache option? I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's under here. General. Nope. Tools. Available tools. Plugin file editor. Nope. Oh, that's where they moved that to. Okay. Let's see. Not seeing anything there. If I'm missing it, somebody point it out, because I don't see anything here. Detect field location rules. Make sure field group is actually assigned to the correct. I've got that. That's all working. Or deactivate, reactivate ACF Pro. Okay, well, I guess we can try that. Because there's no cache option there. So let's go to the plugins. Deactivate. And, oh, just for fun, let's go to our page. Or let's go to our field set. Now that it's deactivated. And see if that option C. See, it's there. Even in the free version. Doggone it. Maybe I need to toggle that. Let's just try toggling all the things. And we'll go back to the plugins, activate, come back over here, open back up, show in the REST API, save the changes. Any updates? Come on now. Oh, what in the world? Make it pretty. Still 12. Doggone it. All right. Nope, none of that worked. I don't want to do this manually. It should just give me the right thing. Verify valid. Yeah, come on. Let's all right. Let's try this. Let's try this outside of Claude. Advanced, let's see. ACF Pro fields. Not ACF Pro image field sending ID instead of selected. What is that called? It is the return format. Return format in API. See if anybody else knows better. Most likely cause pre-get post filter in your theme or plugin that's interfering with queries. Missing incorrect field key in the database. Interference with other plugins. That shouldn't be mine, because mine is not there. Let's do this. Let's go to our plugin editor. Yeah, I know. Okay, so here's our plugin. This is something I played with earlier. Let's just remove that. Oh, let's just make sure none of that stuff is accidentally getting in, even though the plugin should be off. It is deactivated, so that should not be the issue, but you never know. Let's jump back over here. Still getting an ID. Well, okay. Let's see. But it doesn't add. Oh, media parent equals 6. What is this? Is this our URL? That's it. Okay, so that's really annoying. What if we just do media/12? Do we get the same thing? We do. Okay, so we can kind of work around this a little bit. Not exactly what I want to do, but here we go. So we can make a secondary call. Again, it really should just come through the ACF. Maybe I'll figure that out later. But we can at least do this. Use the ID to get that URL and get the information that we're looking for. So we're looking for let's see, media details, source URL. That's what we're looking for, probably source URL. Let's try that. Okay, so let's get this. So we want WPv2 media. Let's go back to our code here. Um, and inside here, we're going to. How do I want to do this? Because again, now we're not able to use ACF the way that we want to. So this is frustrating. This is the type of stuff that you're going to run into, though. So there you go. All right, let's do this. We'll do const image set image. Oh, it's almost like it knew what we're trying to do. So here we'll do WordPress API call slash. So we need to do media slug ACF image 1, then image. Wow, it's like it's seen this code before. Source URL. Wow, there we go. All right. Again, double checking to make sure this is doing what I think it should be doing. There we go, though. Okay, so image 1. Let's try this and see if we can get image 1. And that should be giving us the source URL. There we go. Let's try that. And come back over here. Refresh. Nothing. Uncut. Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading source URL. Okay. Why is that? Let's take a look at our network tab and see what we've got going on. Here's our media. Oh, nothing came back. Slug 12. Oh, we don't want slug. Ah, that's why. We just want slash, media slash. And that should go away because we're not looking for an array. And refresh. There we go. Now our image is back. All right, so not ideal. I would rather not be trying to pull the images out separately like that, but if you have to do it, then you have to do it. That's fine. Okay. So now we're back to where we were. Most of this is coming in through the ACF, or we've actually got a secondary call to media. There should be a way. Really, ACF should be returning what we're looking for. It should be returning. The last thing we switched it to was an array. It really should have been returning the URL the whole time. So that's annoying, but you know, is what it is. What is this browse field? Oh, nifty. Cool. All right. They've done a lot more with the UI on this than it used to be when I was first using it. So I'm kind of relearning it some. There you go. Yeah, it really should be returning the image links. We're telling it to return the image links, but for some reason it's not doing that. Yeah, the problem is I mean, I could use map filter, but then I'm going to right now I don't have a bunch of images that I need to deal with, so you know, I'm not too worried about that. Okay. So let's jump into more what I wanted to look at today. Now that we've got some things connected correctly and we've got our content back on the front end, I want to take a look at doing some repeater fields or doing some custom post types. Actually, sorry, not custom post types, not repeaters. We'll do repeaters later, but let's look at custom post types. Now, in WordPress, a post is like a blog post, right? A page is like a web page, right? So we've got, if we go to where's our website? Everything's just JSON objects. Okay, so if we go to our homepage here, this is actually showing our blog posts. This is the way that it's set up. So this is a blog post. Hello world goes to a post. It says edit post here at the top. But template, which is what we've been working on, is a page. Edit page, template page. Now, WordPress really is using the same database table for both of these things, but it uses something called a post type to delineate whether it's a page or a post, hence the post type. So post is the very base name of everything. Again, it was, blogging was what it was originally built for, so that makes sense. Yeah, we could create a custom endpoint for just specific images. It's already kind of built in. Once you know the image ID, though, that's basically what we're doing is we're calling the media endpoint and using that ID to pull it. So I don't know that we necessarily need to go that far with it, especially since that page is just a testing page. It's not really like one of the final front page that we're going to actually create. So I'm not too worried about that aspect. All right, so posts are the base of the database, right? But then you have post types that delineate the types of posts that you're interacting with, whether it's a page or whether it's a post. The nice thing is WordPress allows you to create custom post types. And if I remember correctly, we can actually create custom post types in ACF. So this is, again, why I recommend ACF. There's just a lot of powerful tools built into it. And if we go back to our localhost homepage, we're going to see this is what we're shooting for, right, from a design standpoint. And there are a few things that have kind of repetitive design. And so I want to show you how I would probably do this in WordPress to give me this information in a way that I can call it exclusively and pull it into my page. Now, we could create on the page a bunch of custom fields and figure all this out, and we might do that a little bit later, maybe with the testimonials. But I want to use these four boxes here, and I want to show you how I would probably do this as something that I could reuse in other places on the website if I wanted to, and just be able to change the content of them. So I'm going to call these, what do we want to call them? We'll call them info boxes. All right, so we're going to call these info boxes, and we're going to come back over to our WordPress install. Let's see what we've got here. Let's get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. Get rid of that. Okay, so we're over here in ACF on our WordPress side. I'm going to go to post types. Yes, leave. Okay. All right, so now it's asking if I want to create a new post type. Is there anything interesting here? No, not really. Okay, so I'm going to hit add new. I could have done it down there. So the plural label. So I'm going to give this a bunch of labels so it knows what I'm creating. So we're going to say, what did we call it? Info boxes. Info box. It'd be really nice if you just type in info box and it could figure it out, but whatever. Info boxes are key, our post type. So if you look up here, post type, so they're actually using post types to create post types. Up here, there's this. We're in the ACF post type. So and then taxonomy. I'm not even going to worry about taxonomies with this. So public, hierarchical. I don't care about it being hierarchical. That means you can have a parent-child relationships. Public, advanced configuration. What is all this? Okay, so under advanced configuration, you can say all the things that you want available to you in those custom post types, right? I'm gonna do title, editor, custom fields. How do I want to do this? We're gonna do title. We're gonna do custom fields, and that's it. Labels, visibility, show in the admin UI. Yes, so I want it to show in the admin UI. I could give it a menu position. I could give it an an icon. So lots of things. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time doing this. Publicly queryable, archive, feed URL, prefix, permissions. Yes, REST API. Show in the REST API. V2, namespace route, namespace part, base URL for the post types, REST URL. Base URL. Not sure why We'll play with that later. Okay, so we've got post types. Let's see if the UR. Let's see if the REST API works. So WP/v2 slash. We should be able to use info box, I think. V2 slash info box. Info boxes. Info box. All right, info box. There we go. So that gives us an array. So it's at least recognizing that in the API. So that's good. Okay, so let's go and take a look at our page here. So we have a new menu item called info boxes that this created. And so if I click on this, we'll see a list. This just uses the default WordPress setup to be able to add content and add custom content the way that we want. All right, so if I go to add new info box, I'm going to get a title. There's no content information here, and I have not created any custom fields to be able to add. So let's go do that. So in our design, we've got an icon, we've got a title, which we'll pull that from the title, and then we've got just what we'll call the blurb, right? Okay, so let's come back over here, go to our ACF field groups. I'm going to call this info box fields. And the first one is just going to be, let's do, I doubt there's an icon. Oh, there is an icon picker. Haha. It's probably not going to be the same icons, but at least we could get something similar, right? So we've got an icon picker. That's cool. We'll call this icon. Well, let's do this. Let's call this, let's make this specific to info box. So info box icon. Or we could just do icon here, and down here do like info box icon. So just because these field names go into the database, and it might get weird if we're trying to use the same ones. I haven't messed with that before, so let's just be safe and do that. All right, tabs, dash icons, media library URL. Okay, so dash icons. So we're going to be using the icon set that comes with WordPress. Like where content editors can choose icons from. I wonder if there's probably ways to add other icon sets to this, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Return format. We'll see how this works. Let's change it to array and close and add that field. We'll get a new field here. This will just be the blurb. And we'll just do info box blurb here and close the field. So we've got an icon and a blurb. Let's come down here to our rules. Excuse me. So we want post type is equal to info box. All right. That's really all we need, because we want it to work on all of the info box post types, not just a specific one. All right. Presentation. We're going to actually change this to seamless, and I'll show you why. The difference here in just a minute. After the content. Well, we can do after title because we don't have content. Left, below the labels, blah, blah, blah. Hide, we can actually hide certain things on the screen if we want to. I'm not going to worry about that. Group settings should show in the REST API. Yes. Okay. Save changes. All right, those are changed, saved now. So if I come over here and I hit this, we got nothing still because we don't have a saved info box. So let's go back to our info box. Now here's the difference when I said whether I want it to be boxes or not. So if you look here, this is the seamless integration. It just looks like it's part of the page like this. Whereas if we go back to our post, if we go back to our page, template page, here we did not make it seamless. And so it's in like this separate section called the custom fields section. So again, since we don't have content, I'm not too worried about having that be in its own block. So in here, we can just come in here create a new info box, and just have it all right there on the page. So just some ways to kind of manage your content. Again, we talked about this before when it comes to building interfaces within WordPress in such a way that your clients can put content in and feel confident that they're not going to mess something up, right? So I just removed the whole content area. And actually, let's go back and do... no, we're going to leave this just as a text box because I don't want a lot of content. I want a very limited amount of content. So let's see. Ming says, are you building the UI components from WordPress, then updating the API data for it when using React to fetch the data object for the UI feature? So we'll build the UI in React. We're making the content available. So we can create a reusable React component and just pass in the content from the array of information that we're going to get from WordPress. So that's the goal here. All right, so let's add our first box, which is going to be one-on-one mentorship, which don't really do. So that's our title. And then our blurb down here is personalized guidance tailored to your specific goals and learning style. Bada bing. And then let's see, they've got a person, people, no, person, group. Is there anything for one-on-one? This is where when having a limited icon set is not as good. You could also just do an image here, go through the rigmarole that we went through already. So we have a pretty limited icon set, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here trying to figure this out, but we'll go with this one. Okay, so we've got an icon of a person. Actually, let's go with a little bit more generic there. Okay, so we could save this as a draft if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and publish it. Now that it is published, we should see it in our list. So we've got, the reason I kept the title is because then it shows up here. So that's important to me. All right, so let's go back and look at our API. Yeah, the content is created in WordPress, and then we pull the data for it from the WordPress API. Absolutely. All right, let's refresh this. Now we've got an object in here. So let's take a look at this. We've got a title rendered, one-on-one mentorship, right? And then let's see, here's our ACF info. So our ACF, hey, we actually got this, but here's the problem. This is the problem. So we need the dash icons in our front end. We'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, let's just deal with pulling this content in as it is. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new page. We're going to call this something. Let's see. What do we want to call this? Let's go over here. Let's create a new route. We'll call it what do we want to do? We'll do info boxes. All right, info boxes. Let's create a page.psx, and we'll copy some of this stuff out here from our copy from our template pages. Less stuff. Okay. And over here. Okay. And we'll change this to info boxes page. Very good. All right. Yep, we're going to do that. That's for sure. And let's pull in use effect. This will be info boxes. That's going to be the slug that we'll use. We'll just ignore this for now. All right, I think we're in a good spot at the moment. Okay, so we're just going to console log the data for now. Make sure we've got everything connected. And let's go over here. and let's create an info boxes page. So add page. Nope, don't want any of that. Info boxes. And our slug info boxes, so that's good. And we will I guess technically we don't really even need this. We don't technically need a backend page for this because we're doing something different. Haha, ignore that. All right. We're just going to create just a front end page because we're just using this as a test. All right. So this will just be a front end page. Let's see what this looks like. So we're not doing pages. We're actually doing info boxes. Info box. I think it's just info box. And that's all we need because we want the array. All right, so let's do this. So we got that. Let's, and really this probably should be a component eventually. We can move this into a component later. Okay. Here. Okay. So we've got our template page. Let's do info boxes. Okay, we're not showing anything. Oh, that's fine because we don't have any other content there. So we've got our header and footer, console. Here's our console log. Here's our information ACF. So we've got the title. We just have one item in the array. Got the title down here that you can't see. And then we got the ACF fields, info box blurb, info box icon. All right, so let's start. Let's build a reusable React component. All right, so come back over here. Can't keep track of where anything is. Let's go in our components. Let's go in here and make a new one. So this will be info. I forget. Do you use Pascal case? We'll just do infobox.tsx. All right. Copy all this stuff in here. We don't need this. All right. There we go. Let's do return info box for now. That's good. That's good. I don't want any of that yet. Okay. So just something simple. And okay, let's come back over to our page. Got a lot of stuff open here. Let me close some of these things. That's interesting. Where's my... Doesn't show me what's open anymore. Oops. Oh well. Okay. We'll figure it out later. Homepage. Don't need that. Header. Don't need that. Okay. Sorry, trying to clean some of this stuff up. Okay. So here's our info boxes page. Let's copy our spacer. Actually, we want this. Hang on. Let's see how that looks. We got our background now. Let's get some space in our div. Here. In between our header and our footer. Boom. Okay. There we go. There's our space. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to do the loop. It's been a while since I've played with React, so there you go. Oh, thank you, Ming. Yes, Pascal, best for React practices. Yay! I actually remembered something. Okay, so in here, so let's set this up. We are going to import that, and we are going to do this. Let's do info box says, and this will be really, you know, we should do like an actual type and pass it in. I'm not going to do that because this is just for fun. So we're just going to do any. All right, so we're calling info box. We're going to set info boxes based on the data, which should be fine because, yeah, so that should be good. Okay, so now we should have those. So now let's loop over this. Infoboxes.map. Bada bing. Infobox any. Yeah. Infobox. Okay, so we've got infobox.id. That's good. Infobox equals blah. We don't really have anything in infobox yet. So let's make that. Okay, so we've got this will be the, so actually here we're going to do icon. Do we want image? Do we want let's do yeah, I know. I'm doing this. I'm using any's as much as possible just to make people mad. What do I want to use for an icon? Let's ask Claude. Unless you want to tell me, Ming. What HTML element should I use in React for an icon? SVG, actual icon classes. I, okay. I couldn't remember if there was an I or not. There you go. I, class name. All right, we'll go that. We'll just do an I for now. There we go. Nope. Can I do that? There we go. Stop. Leave it alone. Stupid windsurf. I know what I'm doing, or I know what I want to do. Okay. Yes, let's do infobox.title. So infobox. There we go. Thank you. It's so nice to have something that helps me do what I know I want to do, but I can't think of it in the top of my head. Arial label is good for accessibility. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. Again, this is just for, we're really more worried about showing how to use WordPress stuff on the front end than we are worrying about making a perfect front end. So it keeps wanting to change this icon here. Okay. And there we go. So we need to add this. Icon any. We need to add, nope, not image. Content. Come on. Content any. So this should be string. Icon should be a string. Info box. This should be title. Should be a string. All right. So infobox.title, infobox.content, class name. Yes. Let's do that. Title, icon, content from infobox box. Bada ba. Boom. Perfect. Okay. So we're deconstructing the items from our type, and we're using those inside here, and that is the div. Now, what I want to do, and what I should have done actually already, is reopen that home page and go down to these info boxes. So they have them as features. So they call these features, right? So let's find features. Let's see. Why choose Devmenter Dave? Features.map. Okay, this is what I want in here. So I want this stuff. So really, this is what I should have done. Just copied this over into our info box. Here. That's all right. I'm a little slow sometimes. It's okay. Okay, so we've got key index. Info box props. Yep, we'll do that. Pass that in. Perfect. Key index. Icon, title, content. All right. So we've got our info box over here. We can pass in this info box ID, title. Icon. Awesome. I love it when it gives me everything and I don't have to think about it. It makes doing these demos a lot faster and probably better. I type a whole lot better with uh, IDE doing it for me. Excuse me. All right. Let's see what we have. And we've got issues. Okay. Objects are not valid as a React child. Found object with keys. Render collection of children. Array instead. Objects are not valid. Info boxes. What do you mean objects are not valid? No. We're not passing an object. We're passing an array. We should be. Well, let's see here. Info box key. Line 24. Well, let's throw this into our AI. Might as well make use of that, right? All right. And we're gonna drag this over here and give it some context and see what it comes up with. WordPress API response is returning an object with a rendered property. Ah, okay, that's why. Title rendered, content rendered. Well, there you go. Infobox.acf.icon. Interesting. Let's accept those changes for now. And close that. So let's see what it did here. We're getting the title should be rendered. And we weren't doing that. I forgot about that. So we've got our Infobox ID. Why are we doing that though? Oh, that's annoying. It got rid of our other stuff. Let's go back. Okay. So this is what we had before. Oh, this is inside. Oh, hang on. Let's do this. Close. Don't save. Pages. Open back up. All right. So let's look at what we're doing. What it's giving us here. So we're in the page. So it's saying infoboxes.map for each. Okay. So we're doing this inside the for each. That's my bad. I thought I was messing with something inside the info box. All right. So we've got our for each map. We're getting the title and the content separately by getting the rendered values, passing the other stuff in icon, infoboxacf.icon. That's interesting. It's giving us an icon in case it doesn't exist. So that's probably, we're not going to do that. We're just going to pass it in as blank. All right. That would be weird. Okay, so let's see what happened here. All right, so what is this, like Flexbox? I bet we're using Flexbox. Okay, so that's that. So we probably want to go back to our page. Not our template page. Let's pull up our home page. Go back here. So we've got a wrapper around this. Let's add that wrapper here in our info boxes page. Okay, let's see what it looks like. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's got the animation and everything. Okay, we're getting closer. Let's see. We've got this. Why is it not giving us space? Okay, let's look at where this is located. It's inside this div, which is All right, let's copy both of these. Put them in the page. Here, under the header. No. Stop. Under this. And then we will add them here. So we want div section. I think that's right. Did I add an extra one? So we've got header, div, section, div. This lines up with, oh, maybe I did add an extra one. No, it's not thinking correctly. Okay, so we've got div here. Then we've got footer section. This div should be inside that section. Ah, it's always fun. And then this div, there needs to be a closing div for this, which there is there. This stuff, let's pop that in one section. Save that. All right, do we have everything? There we go. Okay. Bada bing. Except we lost our white. Where's our white? Unless we have, oh, that's probably part of the original. So they have, yeah, that's this background. Okay. All right, we're all good. It's all good. Everything is fine. Except we did lose this div here. That's what we're missing. We're missing the div. Somehow that got removed. So let's reopen our other one. Template. This one. So I knew we were missing something. Okay. Because I want the full page. I want it to look like it is. Whereas we are adding the section. All right, and then this. Bada bing. Format it later. Okay, there we go. So that's interesting. So, oh well, we'll leave it as it is. Okay, so now we've got things lined up the way that we want them to be lined up. I wonder if we go bigger. Yeah, there we go. So we've got more space. Okay. All right, so let's get the content showing because the content is not showing right now. Let's see. We're passing in content. Let's go to the info box and see what's happening here. We could do console.log, and I want the content. All right, we can do that. Looks like Ming, sorry, I didn't mean to be ignoring you. You can place interfaces in a types folder. Yeah, exactly. Again, I'm not real worried about doing everything perfectly. This is more just to kind of show the ability to interact with WordPress API. The feature data object you can make into a JSON file and import it and map through it. Yeah, yep. See, this is why you should have a job, Ming. You know all this stuff, right? Again, we can definitely jump into this with a lot more gusto if we wanted to. But let's see if we can figure out why this content is not rendering. Yep, content but nothing. Let's refresh this. See if we get more errors. All right, so we've got oh, it should be ACF content. That's why. ACF, it should be ACF info box dash blurb. See, this is what happens when you let AI try to figure out what you're trying to do. So our content is not a rendered content. It's actually a string coming in as info box dash blurb, and the icon will not be correct either. So let's go back to our page. So this should be this should be info box dot ACF dot info dash box dash content. Uh-oh. We got a problem. We can't take this. Can we do this? Nope. Okay, we got to update this on the WordPress side. Okay, let's go back here to our ACF. I did not think about that. And our inbox fields, our icon. We're going to use info box icon. And for the blurb, we're going to Pascal this one too to info box blurb. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's do blurb because I think we're probably safe to do this icon. But it does not like hyphens. Just FYI, JavaScript does not like hyphens in its attribute in its naming conventions. Yeah, there you go, Ming. You're definitely a senior now. Correcting the lead. Believe me. I will take all the correction. It is well deserved. Okay, so ACF icon, ACF blurb. Nope, nope, nope. That's not what I'm asking for. Please stop. Okay. So now we should get some info. We don't need that. And we come here. Content undefined. ACF or infobox.acf. Let's see what we've got here. ACF reload. Objects are not valid as React child. You keep using that word. Icon blurb. So the icon blurb is empty. Why is the blurb empty? Uh-oh. What did we do? What did we do? Why is it not sending the information? We've got our title. What happened to our ACF info? Interesting. It seems like whenever we make a change in here, it does not like it. Field label, field name. Well, let's do this. Let's delete these. Remove. Remove. Oh, I know why. My bad. My bad. We changed the names, and so it's no longer associated correctly in our post type. I guarantee you that's the issue. So I'm going to leave the blurb here. I'm going to add the icon back in. This will be icon picker. Icon. There we go. Let's close this, move it up above. We'll close both of these. Rearrange this, put the icon above. Save changes. So now, if we go back to our info boxes, open up one-on-one mentoring, see the blurb, because we changed the name, the field name, it doesn't have that association anymore, so that's why nothing is there. Good times. Great oldies. All right. So let's come back over here, copy that, put it in. That is one annoying thing. ACF should be able to just update that, but it's not updating that relationship. That's bad on ACF's part. In my opinion, that's bad programming. Okay. So now we can come back here, load this, and we should get, here's our stuff again. Okay, so we've got our blurb. Now let's see what it's complaining about. Not valid. Title, info box. Okay, let's see what's going on. Title is infobox.title/rendered. ID. Oh, icon dot value. Okay. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay. So It's just using this string for now, and that's okay. We'll get an actual icon displaying at some point. Maybe not today because we're already an hour and a half in. All right, but that at least gives us something that looks more like what we were trying to do. Okay, now we've got this set up. This is inside of a loop, right? Let's see. Ming says, any field you create on ACF, you need to save it so it's returned in the API. That, and you also need to make sure that it's filled out in your post type or wherever you have it in like an options page or something like that. We'll look at that stuff later too. You'll need to make sure that it's filled out so that it gets passed in. Then the ACF plugin allows you to make custom fields to return WP content. Exactly. That's exactly what it does. Yep. Then you pull the content from the API and you use it however you want on your front end. So it's really, really powerful once you get your head in that space and can start actually. Again, it takes a little bit to wrap your brain around it. It takes a little bit to understand how to use it. But now we've got this box set up. We've got all the motion and everything. Let's go back here. Let's create our other info boxes. So we've got 4 of them total. So we'll just copy paste them in here. Boom, boom. This is a code. Let's see if we've got anything similar for the code icon. We do. Boom. Look at that. All right. Publish that. And then we'll do add a new info box. Come over here. 24/7 support. Not true. And then we've got like a chat icon. Probably this one, but let's see. We'll use this one here. Again, the icons are not coming through. It looks like we got somebody new following. Hey, if you're watching live, jump in the chat and say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask any questions that you have. If you're wondering what we're doing, we're using WordPress as a backend, using the WordPress API to be able to do quick content creation and management. And then we're pulling that into a Next and React front end to display it the way that we want to. So we're just kind of playing with a custom post type to allow you to create sections of reusable information. So update that. That's 24/7. Let's create a new info box. Should be our last one. Whoop, career acceleration. And we're doing this as kind of a mock version of the devmentor.dave.com website, which I don't have one up. It just redirects to the YouTube channel at the moment. And this will not be it because there's a lot of stuff on here. We had AI generate this, so just for fun. Let's do, we got kind of like a marketing arrow up. Let's see if there's anything similar. This is similar, sort of, to that. Again, don't want to spend a ton of time looking at icons. You can spend it forever. And these are just the built-in WordPress icons, and they don't really even copy over right now. I think there will probably be a way for us to add the dash icon set to React, but I might do that offline and tell you guys how I did it later. Okay, so let's just use this one since it's solid. Okay, publish. Now, in here, we've got 4 info boxes, right? Yep, you do everything in WordPress with the ACF plugin. So we're just setting all that stuff, and most of it should translate over into correctly into the API, as long as you check mark to make sure that it goes in the API. All right, so we've got our 4 info boxes here. Let's come back over here. Remember, the API has changed, right? So if we come here and hit info box, we should have 4 of these, which we do now. 36, 35, 32, right? So we've got 4 info boxes here in our JSON that's coming through. And then now we're going to refresh the actual page and cross our fingers and hope we did it right to be able to see 4 boxes. Yes, we got 4 boxes. Boom. All right. Let's just for fun, let's do dash icons in React. Icons in React. Nope, nope, nope. Let's try this again. WordPress dash icons in React JS. Nope, don't care about that. Front end standalone React apps. And queuing via PHP. What? Nope. Standalone. There we go. Dash icons. Assuming you have the dash icon CSS locally. That would be what I would like to do. Where is it? Or link to a CDN in your index.html file. I don't know if I want to do that. WordPress dash icons, build dash icons, CSS. Import WordPress dash WordPress icons or icon dash icons. Ooh, interesting. Which one should we use? WordPress icons? WordPress icons. Interesting. Let's do this. Boom. Haha. There's always another thing we can do. That's the, what is this? Where are we at? All right, let's make a new tab. This WordPress icons. Let's see if it'll import. It says it did. All right, let's go back here and see what it says to do. Import icon check. Let's try that. In our info box, let's come over here. Nope, not there. Duh. We want that there. And we want this. Come on. To just be icon equals icon. There you go. So this will be interesting. We can't. I don't know if we can do this because we're not pulling it. We're not importing it. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. So element type is invalid. Expected a string. Method forward ref icon. Okay, let's do this. We've got at WordPress icons. Import icon dynamically. In icon icon component. Set icon component icon module dot default. That feels unfortunate. Icon component. Icon map. Where's icon map coming from? Yeah, see, it wants us to put them in here. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Custom hook for reusability. Yeah, I don't want to pull it in from the... Surely there's a way to do it differently. I don't like any of these options. Use WordPress icon. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do this. Function. Use WordPress icon name. Let's try this. We're all about letting AI help us out. Oop. All right, so Use effect inside here. Interesting. Icon name. String. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, so let's try this. Use WordPress icon, dot icon. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see what it complains about now. Element type is invalid. Use WordPress icon. What are we returning? We're returning. Yeah, we definitely want dot icon. Maybe we do this. Oops. Nope, don't want that. Oh, come on. That's what we want. Const icon. Why is this not working? Oh, Looney changed this to WP icon. Put that in here. That's returning. It's trying to be too helpful. Stop. So we want icon as WP icon. Is it as? Hang on, hang on, hang on. I thought you could use as. Let me know. What am I doing? I'm just trying to get the actual icon from WordPress. I'm just wasting time. Let's see. Come back over here. So it's returning icon and loading. An icon. Let's just go back here. And I rename icon in the deconstructor. I know there's a way to do that. I just can't think of it. No, dummy. That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right, so destructure and rename in one step. Okay, so it is that. All right. I have obviously have not done that enough. All right, so WP icon. All right, what's wrong now? What's wrong now? Must be a React element, but you passed null. Interesting. Use WordPress icon, icon. Let's look at our content. Our content is coming through. Icon dot value. I bet I need to change this. Well, no, it says null. It says I'm passing null. Let's try console.log WP icon. Yeah, that's returning null. So why is it returning null? Icon module dot default. Okay, let's do this. That. That's not even hitting it. All right, so await import icon name.js. Ah, let's look at this. So if I do, what is our icon name? I bet we need to Pascal case it. Dash icons, dash chart area. Dash, should be just chart area, right? That's not even in there. I wonder if this is an old icon set. That might be our problem too. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is get the actual icons from WordPress, the same ones that they use. I think this is not giving it to me. I think this is the wrong one. So let's go back here, see if we can find icon / dash icons. Interesting. So we might be able to just do this. SVG icons. Standard icons repository. I don't know. I'll play with this some other time. I don't want to spend too much time messing with this, but the only thing that we're missing is the actual icons themselves. So let me come back out here. We're going to stop passing in. We're just going to get rid of that. And we will do this. Like we had before. And bada bing. All right, so that's where we are. We've got those, but that's how you can create reusable components and get content from WordPress in a specific type. Now, ACF has something called a repeater field that we could also have done something very similar with this, and we'll probably look at that next time. Or we might look into doing some things like updating our menu pages. So that would be something that we could move over to WordPress and manage it in WordPress as well. So we'll probably look at some of those things next time, but this is hopefully just a good way to see how you can start making content in WordPress and doing just kind of the basics, doing templates over here on the front end side, and you can see how it just works, right? Because you've got all the information in the API. So anyway, I'll take a look at the contents or the icon stuff later to see if I can figure out the best way to do that. I don't want to waste a bunch of time trying to figure it out right now. So if we can figure things out quickly, I enjoy doing that on the live stream. But if we hit a roadblock and we're spending 10 minutes on it, it's probably best to usually just move on. Not because I care about you guys seeing how dumb I am, but more just because it's kind of at some point it becomes a waste of time unless you can find a solution. So we'll figure that out maybe this next week and let you know. So a bit of a programming note, I will be here. I should be here next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, I will be I will be spending time with some friends playing board games, so I will not be on in a couple of weeks, but I'll remind you guys next week of that as well. Ming says, do you think I'll get frowned upon if I said I used WordPress API to generate content? To be honest with you, probably, and mostly because developers are very prideful people, and WordPress doesn't have a great reputation for a number of reasons. But honestly, if it's the best way to provide, if it's a faster way for you to get content, and if it's the best way for your the person that you're doing this for, I can't think of the name. My brain's already shot. If it's the best way for your the person that you're writing the website for or the application for, typically I would do this more with a website than with an application. But like if you want to really control the customization of the content but give them access to it, then your client, that's the word I was looking for, client, then I think it's a great option. I think it's definitely worth looking into. I'll put it that way. Because, at the end of the day, everybody's going to have a thought, and that doesn't mean their thought is right. Um, if the client works, if the client likes it, if the client's used to WordPress and you can offer them a WordPress backend and they can still do all the things that they need to do and they like to do to manage content, you're just using a more forward thinking front end. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's going to be faster typically. As you build pages with like a builder theme, it adds a lot of cruft to your WordPress site. And so if you're just putting content in and you're just getting it out via the API, then it's going to load much faster than it will. Oh, what's the 4 issues? Oh, whatever. It'll load so much faster with doing something like that. Plus, again, you're not people don't necessarily know where it's coming from. And now we're pulling this directly from WordPress. So like if we look at our network here, we're gonna see this is going to a WordPress endpoint. So we could obfuscate that with Next.js, and we might do that later just so people can't tell this is where it's going, but they'll still see the front endpoint, right? So it's not like you're hiding that really, but they won't know that it's WordPress. So you could keep people from dogging you from that standpoint. The only way they would know is if they start looking at this and they see things like ACF. Obviously, the URLs might give it away as well. So things like that. But we can make use of these front end design elements. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Oops. But we can make use of some of these design elements in React and get things looking the way that we want to, and just pull the content in then from there. And then you're not having to learn a new thing like themes, right? So, oh my, we got another spammer. Good times. It'd be nice if the spammers would actually like increase my followers, but I don't want spammers as followers. So, how do I boot this? I don't know. Moon, can you even see the spammer? I don't know if you can see. Oop, that's not what I want. I'm working on it. How do I do this? It's getting in the way. I don't want to reply. Do you have to click on their name? Ah, here we go. I was able to do it once, but I can't remember it. What's this? Manage suspicious user. Very strict. Were they banned? Let's see. Warn, timeout, ban. There it is. Okay, boom. Bye-bye. All right, cool. Anyway, so we can make use of all the stuff that we would do on React and just pull the content in from WordPress. So that's another way that we can manage content outside of just using the actual content from WordPress like we're doing in the template page. And so next week we'll probably look at starting to actually build out our homepage based on a mix probably of what we have on the front on our React side and what we have in the WordPress side. We'll see how much more we want to do with that. So anyway, I am going to cut it off just a couple minutes early. Thanks, Mean, for jumping in here and for pointing out all of my flaws and for just jumping in and saying hello and sharing your story. And helping me along the way as we work on this project. Hopefully, if you're watching this later on YouTube, hopefully it's helpful to you and interesting enough to keep you watching. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the like button on the video, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and jump over to Twitch. Create an account on Twitch. If you don't have one, go to the Dev Mentor Dave channel on Twitch. Hit the follow button. Trying to get to 10 followers. We're halfway there. Trying to get to 10 followers as soon as possible. Then we'll bump it up to 50 because apparently 50 is a thing for Twitch. So there's that. So share it. Share the Twitch stream with others. Tell them to come be followers. And if they would find this type of content helpful. And we'll see. How would the Agile work for this project? For this one, it wouldn't. We're just kind of building it as we go. I'm not really too worried about project management, showing project management on this. Maybe we can do that on another project in the future. Usually you would assign probably somebody to handle the WordPress setup using ACF, get all the fields in there, and another person would work on the front end. And you just try to do that in tandem. Make sure that the people on the front end are working on the same things the people on the back end are. Making sure that they're communicating the API requirements back and forth so that they know how to what fields to implement on the front end side. A lot of times what will happen in instances like this is the front end will dictate to the back end the field names that they want, and then the back end will just update ACF correctly. Now, sometimes what I've done in the past is I worked on the WordPress side. I was back end actually on the project that we did this with before, and I worked on the back end. I used ACF, but I also had to create some extra API endpoints that ACF didn't create, and we had some other just specialized content, specialized stuff that we had in there. So that was all back end work. But a lot of it really was just setting up the right ACF fields and attaching them correctly to the right post types and all that stuff. So that's typically how I would split that work. You'd have your front end person building out the pages and the components and things like that, expecting specific types of data, pass that to the back end person, and the back end person would update and add the ACF fields as necessary to be able to provide that data and give them the endpoints that they need for that. So that's typically how that project would work, and how it has in my past as well. So, all right, have a good day, Ming. Have a good day to you as well if you're watching this later. Hopefully it was helpful and enjoyable, or at least mildly entertaining as I stumbled through and tried to get things to work and tried to get the AI to stop helping me as much as it did. So good times there. But have a great day. Look forward to being on with you guys here again next Saturday. Don't forget the workday recap every weekday from Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central United States time for about 30 minutes. I'll be here for that as well. So I will see you on the next one.